Shannon needed to have some accountability because he gave them something to shake down. He gave them something to target by making poor choices. Busby and this young woman got audio, video, and text messages. If you know all of those things are out there, you should shut the F up.
If you thought Shannon Sharpe was bulletproof, that his name was stamped in concrete after decades of grinding from the dirt roads of Georgia to the bright lights of TV fame, think again. In just a matter of hours, the man once hailed as a living blueprint for hard work and hustle found himself in the dead center of a storm no amount of charisma, championship rings, or podcast deals could shield him from. And let's be very clear, this wasn't some petty scandal cooked up by bored tabloids. This was a $50 million civil lawsuit, the kind of nuclear allegation that doesn't just attack your wallet, it vaporizes your reputation before you even get the chance to defend it. One morning, everything seemed normal.
If you said that one more time, I'm gonna choke out of you when I see.
The next, Charlemagne the God cracked open the Breakfast Club with a headline so heavy, it might as well have knocked a few satellites out of orbit. Fresh court filings, brutal accusations, and a 22-year-old plaintiff stepping forward with receipts, text messages, audio, video, enough, allegedly, to send entire marketing departments into meltdown mode. Charlemagne didn't dance around it. His voice cut through the sleepy morning air like a warning shot. He didn't just report it, he practically rang the alarm bells, dropping the kind of one-liner that immediately set the internet on fire. If you're 54 years old, you have no business talking to a 19-year-old. None. And that was all it took. One spark, and Shannon's name exploded across every platform.
I know one thing, if you're 54, you have no reason to be talking to a 19-year-old. She's 22 now, Shannon is 56. I'm so glad that audio of Monique went viral yesterday.
Not as a sports legend, but as a trending headline nobody wanted to click, but everybody couldn't stop reading. Shannon's name shot up the charts faster than any highlight reel he ever posted. Except this time, it wasn't epic catches or viral debates filling people's timelines. It was memes. It was old interviews, sliced up and twisted to sound sinister. It was endless TikTok speculating, recycling third-hand rumors, piecing together out-of-context screenshots to paint the worst possible picture. In 2025, you don't need facts to convict someone in the court of public opinion. You just need enough noise, enough people willing to believe the worst because it makes a better story. And Shannon, he was the story of the day, the week, maybe even the year.
Because it's true. Sit your old down and go find somebody your age and build a family with them. As I said yesterday, men, we need stability and we need discipline.
The brutal part? This wasn't just random bad luck. It was the dark flip side of everything that made Shannon Sharpe a star in the first place. His whole career pivot into media superstardom wasn't because he played it safe. It was because he didn't. He was real. He was raw. He was the voice that sounded like your unfiltered uncle at Thanksgiving, the one who said what everybody else was too scared to say. Shannon didn't change himself to fit TV, he made TV come to him. But the same authenticity that made him a magnet for millions also made him a target the second real life got messy.
And she says that she alleges that the was brutal, like it was very it was aggressive.
When you build your brand around being unapologetically real, you don't get the luxury of a slow fall from grace. You crash hard and you crash fast. The fallout wasn't a slow trickle either. It was a free fall. Corporate sponsors didn't wait for depositions or verdicts. They started pulling back immediately, long before Shannon could even craft a public statement. Because in today's world, it's not about what's true. It's about what looks true long enough to hurt the brand. Endorsement deals are packed with morality clauses, vague little trapdoors that let companies walk away the second your name starts trending for the wrong reasons. It's not even about guilt anymore. It's about optics. If you make them look bad, you're gone. Simple as that.
Now, this woman is alleging that Shannon Sharpe her multiple times over the course of a 2-year relationship. The relationship that they had was
behind the scenes, meetings were happening in real time. Ad agencies weighing pause orders on campaigns, podcast networks combing through contracts, looking for exit strategies. Every marketing director's nightmare was unfolding, being the company that stuck around too long, only to get roasted alongside the accused. Shannon wasn't just facing a lawsuit, he was facing a slow erasure. Sponsors freezing partnerships, shows quietly moving him to the backbench, brand strategists scrubbing future rollouts of anything with his face on it. But here's the part that made it even more devastating. This wasn't a criminal case. This was a civil suit. And the rules between the two are completely different.
Because at that point, she said that they were in a they were in an actual relationship. They were in Vegas together. So when that happened, she had already kind of been, in this thing where he's verbally abusive, allegedly, but she thought that they were together.
In a criminal case, prosecutors have to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That's a high bar. Evidence, witnesses, ironclad proof. In a civil case, all you need is 51%. If the jury thinks the plaintiff's story is even slightly more believable than yours, you're losing millions. Your name, your brand, your ability to walk into a boardroom without side eyes and whispers. Charlemagne laid it out perfectly. Civil suits aren't about putting you behind bars. They're about draining you dry. They're about turning your bank account into an ATM machine for legal fees, settlements, and headline writers. They're about dragging your name through 6 months of dirty discovery.
He tells her and threatens her allegedly to say that he will her if she ever does that again. But the part of it, she says that she was allegedly anally twice and that it was very, very brutal.
While the internet treats every leaked email and shady text message like gospel, you don't just fight the lawsuit. You fight the algorithms, the memes, the podcasts, the 30-second TikTok edits that slice out every ounce of context for a few thousand more clicks. And Shannon's situation was tailor-made for disaster. Clips of him roasting co-hosts, making offhand jokes, being unfiltered, they all became ammunition. It didn't matter what he actually did or didn't do. What mattered was what people felt like he did. And by the time public feeling hardens into public opinion, you could win your court case and still lose the war. Because in 2025, it's not the truth that survives. It's the first version of the story that gets uploaded. And once it's uploaded, good luck pulling it back down. But as brutal as all this sounds, the worst was still hiding around the corner. Because in civil court, after the headlines, after the lawsuits, comes something even more dangerous: discovery. And once discovery hits, no secret stays buried for long.
She says that she was allegedly anally twice and that it was very, very brutal. She alleges the last incident happened January 2025.
Discovery is where everything really falls apart. It's not about the courtroom drama. It's about the flood of emails, texts, location pings, phone logs, private DMs, and voice notes that start getting pulled into the open. Every single interaction Shannon Sharpe had with the accuser over the past 2 years could end up on full display, twisted, chopped up, leaked out to blogs and social media before a jury even gets to see it. And in the discovery phase, context gets left behind. A joking message from a year ago can get spun into a smoking gun. A screenshot missing the next 3 messages can shift public perception before anyone blinks. It's not just about what's true anymore. It's about what looks the worst when you strip away all nuance and feed it to an audience already hungry for blood.
The fact that if this is true, right, why would she go grab Tony Busby as the lawyer?
Yeah, if you want to be taken seriously, you don't go get Tony Busby.
And the brutal part is, even if Shannon fights this tooth and nail, even if he goes all the way to trial and wins, the damage might already be irreversible. Sponsors don't care about verdicts. They care about trends. TV executives don't wait for court transcripts. They watch hashtags and TikTok algorithms. When Charlemagne compared the situation to a stadium scoreboard going dark during overtime, he wasn't exaggerating. Right now, nobody knows the final score. But the revenue is gone. The brand deals are frozen. The opportunities are slipping through his fingers. And all it took was one lawsuit and a few viral posts to bring an empire built over decades to its knees in a matter of days. Meanwhile, the internet was tearing itself apart.
We reached out to Attorney Busby and I asked him, first of all, did this happen? Did you guys file this because of that $100 million podcast negotiation conversation? And he said they've been in contact with Shannon Sharpe's counsel since February, long before any announcement.
On one side, you had diehard Shannon defenders quoting his decades of clean public image, his charity work, his rise from nothing. On the other side, you had people convinced that where there's smoke, there's fire, dissecting every word he ever said for hidden meaning, pulling up old videos like forensic evidence. It wasn't a debate, it was a civil war. And Shannon was stuck in the middle, watching both sides rewrite his life story in real time. DJ Envy mentioned that even ad agencies were seeing shifts in audience behavior. People boycotting shows he appeared on, comment sections filling with arguments, live read inventory being paused until further notice. And the thing is, this isn't just about Shannon Sharpe anymore. It's a blueprint for how public figures fall in the modern era. Every move you ever made, every text you ever sent, every moment you thought was private, it all lives in a digital landfill that can be dug up, misinterpreted, and weaponized the moment somebody smells smells opportunity.
So then I said to him, well, they're also saying in Shannon Sharpe's statement that there's a video that has been altered to make it look like there's or whatever is non-consensual when it's actually consensual if you show the full video.
Charlemagne said it best. In today's world, you're not judged by a jury of your peers. You're judged by a jury of strangers with Wi-Fi. And once that judgment hits the timeline, good luck escaping it. Even if Shannon tries to pivot, to move into a different lane, the shadow of this case will follow him. If he settles quickly, people will scream hush money. If he fights and drags it out, the discovery leaks will keep the story alive for months. If he somehow wins outright, the internet won't correct itself. The accusations will live forever. In Google search results, in old tweets, in YouTube videos that never update the ending. Settlement doesn't mean guilt. Fighting it doesn't mean innocence. In the court of public opinion, it's all about what sticks first, and what sticks hardest. And that's the sick part. In civil court, money is the weapon. Allegations get attached to price tags so high, it becomes a headline by itself. $50 million? That number wasn't random. That number was chosen because it shocks people into paying attention. It signals seriousness before a single piece of evidence is even examined. But what nobody tells you is, these numbers almost always shrink during mediation. They get quietly whittled down behind closed doors. The settlement, if it happens, will be a fraction of that number.
Tony Busby said to me, he is a liar. He never even actually saw it. It wasn't even referenced or referred to in the case we filed. But now that his lawyer has breached the mediation agreement that Mr. Sharpe's counsel insisted upon, it should be known that there is indeed a video.
But the headline damage? That's already permanent. On top of that, there's the culture angle. As Charlemagne pointed out, black male celebrities have historically been held to different standards in the court of public opinion. Negative tropes and stereotypes cling harder, spread faster, and linger longer when it's a black man at the center of the storm. Shannon's Southern accent, once celebrated as authenticity, is already being reframed by critics as unpolished or dangerous. The coded language is slipping into the discourse without people even realizing it. And that's not just a Shannon problem. That's a systemic one. Meanwhile, social media is slicing up his life into 15-second clips, stripped of any context, loaded with sensational captions. Charlemagne exposes Shannon. $50 million lawsuit revealed. It doesn't matter what the full conversation was. It doesn't matter what facts get added later. By the time the internet moves on, all that will be left is the edited version. The version that gets the most clicks, not the most truth. Charlemagne even admitted his own role in the chaos. Radio hosts, podcasters, YouTubers, they're all accelerants. They don't set the fire, but they sure pour gasoline on it once it starts. Every headline they read without verifying, every hot take they throw out for engagement, every rushed opinion they give before facts land.
And I said, well, wait, y'all mediated? Because that means that
this shit been going on. Like, he been knew about this.
Been wanting to, like, there was possibly a settlement. Like, there's been conversations, right? Like, y'all didn't come out of nowhere.
It all feeds into the machinery that turns accusations into public convictions before discovery even starts. And the most terrifying part? Discovery is still coming. Emails, voicemails, location data, metadata. All the digital breadcrumbs we leave behind every single day are about to be dissected by lawyers, journalists, and internet detectives. Private conversations are about to become public battlegrounds. Every affectionate text, every fight, every joke could be twisted and framed in the worst possible light. This isn't just about what Shannon Sharpe did or didn't do. It's about what Shannon Sharpe's digital life looks like when it's pulled out of context and held up for the world to judge. If you're Shannon, there's no clean way out of this. No way to wait it out. No magical moment where it all blows over quietly. Whether he settles, fights, or wins outright, the stain will follow him. Because in 2025, once the court of public opinion hands down its sentence, there are no appeals. The internet moves on, but the damage stays frozen in time. Charlemagne closed it best. This isn't just a celebrity downfall story. It's a lesson about how fast reputations pivot in the age of perpetual connectivity. It's about how one headline can rewrite a lifetime. It's about how we, as a culture, confuse trending topics with trial verdicts, and how we cheer for the collapse of people we used to celebrate because it's entertaining. Shannon Sharpe's story isn't even halfway over yet. But the way things are moving, the internet already decided its ending before the real story ever got the chance to unfold. And if you think this is the last case you'll see crash and burn, this way, you haven't been paying attention, because in the age of viral justice, the next headline is already loading. It's not a question of if, it's just a question of who's next.